Good morning, everyone. All right, we're still coming in. It's okay. Come on in, sit down. Yeah. Okay, so we've reached that topic in our discussion and our exploration of mystical spirituality, of surrender. Of surrender. And it's a very important topic and one that kind of makes us a little nervous. Maybe we don't fully understand what it is, what it's about. Sometimes we can think, maybe that's contrary to what we're about here at Unity, what we're studying at Unity. Because we talk a lot here about personal empowerment. Right? We're about personal empowerment. And we learn to activate the 12 powers within us, those powers, those access points to specific qualities of our spiritual power that help us exercise our full capabilities and realize our full potential. Right? And one of those powers, one of those 12 powers, is the power of power, which is about self-mastery. And it's about standing in our truth, speaking our truth, and we affirm, we use this power of power to affirm our heart's desires. We call forth our good. We talk a lot here about, agency, self-empowerment, autonomy. We certainly wouldn't want anybody to push us around or, bully us or be a doormat to anyone. No. So how do we reconcile this idea of surrender with personal empowerment? And I think it becomes clearer when we understand what we're surrendering and to whom. So first and foremost, we are not surrendering to another person. We would never submit our will to another, person. And speaking of will, that actually is another one of our 12 powers, the power of will. And, that's our ability to choose. Out of this field of limitless possibilities, we decide what our path is. We decide, we choose what we want to bring into our life, what we're willing to accept and not. But the power of will is not willfulness. Willfulness is kind of the misuse of the power of will. Willfulness is stubbornly holding on to something. Insisting everybody does it my way. Imposing our will on others and, trying to control the situation. Right? So that's, as Paul Hasselback would say, that is the overdevelopment of the power of will. But the power of will used correctly also includes willingness. This willingness. I'm willing. That's an energy of allowing. We're allowing other points of view. We're allowing other ideas. We are willing to listen. We're willing to be present and to move with the flow of divine life. So that is a little closer to this idea of surrender. We got a little key in there. So what we are surrendering, truly, in mystical spirituality, what we're surrendering is the ego. Well, okay, so I should use a different word, I know, because there's so many different interpretations of ego, some of which are positive, right? So I'm going to use false self or the small self. So we are surrendering that smallest part of us that identifies with the human-only realm, that identifies with a sense of separation, that we're separate from Source, we're separate from each other, we're separate from our good. Right? We are surrendering the least effective part of us and our little self-initiated plans, as A Course in Miracles would say, little self-initiated plans. We're surrendering that small part of us that wants to keep us trapped in this self-sabotaging loop. Because, the ego wants to keep us safe and protect us, but it can also block our growth. It can block our divine guidance, our wisdom. It can block love. So we want to surrender that, right? Like, phew, good riddance, take it. So now, to whom or to what are we surrendering? Well, traditionally, historically, most faiths and traditions would say that we must surrender to the will of God in order to be truly happy or be saved or whatever. So, okay, where's God? Is it a power outside of us? Is it a super being somewhere in heaven looking over us, judging us, and, demanding that we submit our will to Him? No, we know in unity that God is within us, that God is that power and presence within us that expresses as us, right? So that's what we're surrendering to. So that beautiful Karen Drucker song that Kara sang so beautifully, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. My greatest, highest good. What is my greatest, highest good? I don't know. I can't know from this small, limited, sense of self. But the highest divine source within me, that one power and presence of love within me knows. And this is what I'm surrendering to. That one life essence, that cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration from which all creation flows, that one life essence, that one light that shines its light beautifully and magnificently and individually as each one of us. That is what we're talking about. That's what we're surrendering to. And as we awaken to and align ourselves with that power and presence of love, with that one energy, now we're in alignment and we're expressing from that highest divine will. We're expressing from that. And that's what's guiding our decisions and our power and our will and our actions and all of that. From that place, right? But first, we must empty our rice bowl. The Zen Buddhist story of, if we arrive in the presence of the Master with our bowl full of rice, in other words, full of our own knowledge and our own accomplishments and our own sense of self and our own, ideas and views of life, it's full. There's no room for insight and divine wisdom and new knowledge. And, the guru is putting, spooning more and more rice into that bowl. And the student's like, hey, it's falling all over. It's going all over the place. It's full. Can't you see it's full? And he's like, yeah, it is. It is. So as they say, when we're full of ourselves, we can't be full of spirit. So we want to empty the rice bowl, empty our mind, start fresh, hear with new ears, see with new eyes, see with our heart, listen with our heart. In spiritual community, we've all done stuff, right? We've all taken classes and done practices, and, we're all a bunch of individuals who have probably been on a path for a while. We've done this, we've learned some things. We have practiced, right, some things. And so there's a tendency to say, I've heard all that before. And I know this tendency because it's what I say to myself every time I go to the Unity Fall Retreat and there's a keynote speaker. Unless he's, presenting a completely different topic, it's like, I know this. I've heard this all before. Not only have I heard it all, I've taught it all before. I've been studying and teaching, mystical spirituality, metaphysics for about 40 years now. It's like I've heard it all before. So I have to empty the rice bowl. I have to empty it and hear with new ears and let go of my judgments and open my heart and hear with my heart. And every time I do that, I hear something new, and it strikes a chord in me and creates a shift for me. So that's what we want to do. We want to begin to, set our intention to hear something new, to open our eyes, to open our hearts, and see what we receive, in all kinds of ways, not just here on Sunday, but, when you're speaking to each other, or when you're taking a class, or when you you watch a inspirational YouTube video, and there's a tendency, I heard that before, just empty the bowl and go, okay, what is new? And there's something surprising that can help create that shift that you've been looking for. And the same could be said if we're walking in nature, if we're walking in the woods, and if we say, I've seen trees before. In fact, I've seen those trees before many times. And so there's this tendency to dismiss, right? But if we can be present in the moment, surrender in the moment, open our hearts, see with new eyes, we're not only going to see something we've never seen before, we're going to experience something that we've never never experienced before. So the author of The Mystic Heart, Wayne Teasdale, that one of the books I'm using as inspiration for this, he says, to surrender to the present moment with an open and trusting heart is a sign of great spiritual progress. To surrender to the present moment with an open and trusting heart. To surrender to the moment. Now we know some moments are easier to surrender to than others. Some moments are painful, right? We don't want to surrender. We want to resist, and we do resist. But in that moment is an invitation to let go of the judgment, to let go of the should-bes. Remember we talked about the should-bes last month. This should be different. I shouldn't be experiencing this. This shouldn't be happening. And that creates more resistance, which just perpetuates that whole experience, right? So there's an invitation in that moment to just stop, take a breath, and ask ourselves, can I accept this moment as it is without judgment? Can I accept this moment as it is without judgment? Let's say that together. Can I accept this moment as it is without judgment? All right, and then the second part of this is the open and trusting heart, right? The open and trusting heart. Not always easy to have an open and trusting heart, particularly if, okay, I'm trusting the divine guidance and spirit and this greater higher good is leading me to this, and then suddenly it's scary. It's uncomfortable. It's leading me into this uncomfortable, scary place, and then we begin to doubt. I must have heard it wrong. This can't be right. I'm sure Spirit wouldn't lead me into something that's uncomfortable. I mean, it should flow, right? It should all be easy. It should all flow together. Isn't that supposed to be the way it works? Then what happens is that our small self wants to jump in and say, oh, no, I got this. I'll take it. I'll take it from here. And if we listen to that small self, then we just circle back to the same place, that same small place, right? And we don't grow. We're in that same spot. Rather than the large, fabulous, wonderful, abundant life, joyous, fulfilling experience of love that Spirit has for us. And we can take courage by that song that we sing every Sunday before we go into meditation. As I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. There's love. There's an energy of love that is all around us. That power of love that creates, guides, and governs the entire universe, creates, guides, and governs this amazing solar system. You know, have you seen the pictures coming back from the Webb, the new Webb Space Telescope? Oh, it's just magnificent. It's just magnificent. And it's just, you just get this sense of awe about how it's all created and how it's all perfect and how everything is in its perfect place, even though it looks chaotic. It's all designed together. It's all in its perfect place. And this planet and everything in it, right? That's the power of love we're talking about. That's the power that's there to catch us and inspire us and give us the strength that we need to grow. And so I'd like to have a little experience of this for just a quick minute or two. If you would settle back in your seats and just start taking some breaths, some deep centering breaths. Close your eyes. And I'm going to read these words of Hildegard de Bingen, who was a Christian mystic and philosopher and composer and scholar and amazing in the Middle Ages. And I invite you to listen with fresh ears, listen with your heart, as if this is the power of love speaking to you. I, God, am in your midst. Whoever knows me cannot fall, not in the heights, nor in the depths, nor in the breadths, for I am love, which the vast expanses of evil can never still. I am love. Breathe that in. I am love. Right here. And take a deep breath and begin to come back. So it's this that we're surrendering to. And again, as we do, it guides now. It's guiding, it can guide our ego, can guide our activity, guide our power of power, guide our power of will. And this is how it's integrated in. This is how it's all integrated. It's this beautiful dance. This is beautiful dance, surrendering, receiving, allowing ourselves to be moved by it and to proceed from that place. With strength, with power, with knowing that, yes, I'm here, I'm guided, I'm empowered, I'm surrendered and empowered. This beautiful dance that we have the opportunity of doing in this lifetime, on this amazing planet, in this physical form. What a wonderful opportunity we have to do it now, to realize this now, to have this, to play this dance together with each other, with each other. Namaste.